Welcome to Buy or Buy, where today we're doing something a little different. We're performing an autopsy on a vehicle that's already dead. The 2023 to 2024 Fisker Ocean. Okay, let's get into this.
You know, you really can't talk about the Ocean without talking about the man himself, Henrik Fisker. He's a genuinely brilliant designer. We're talking about the guy behind icons like the BMW Z8. But as a CEO, well, his track record is, let's just say, one of a kind.
And this really tells the whole story, doesn't it? This is not his first failed car company, it's his second. His first one, Fisker Automotive, went belly up back in 2013. And now, just over a decade later, Fisker Inc. has followed the exact same script, going bankrupt after building just over 11,000 cars. So why is the verdict on this car an immediate buy? Okay, forget all the features, all the specs for just a second. The reason is simple, and honestly, it's terminal. The company that made this car is extinct.
This is the headline you need to remember. June 17, 2024, Fisker Inc. filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And that single fact right there is the most important thing to know about the Fisker Ocean, because it completely dictates everything else that follows.
And the bankruptcy? Well, it creates a total ownership nightmare. There is no factory warranty. Gone. The company that wrote the software, it's gone too. So there will never be another over-the-air update. The handful of dealers they signed up, they've all quit. There is no authorized service network and no factory parts supply. You are 100% on your own. So the crucial point here is that this isn't like buying a car from a company that's just struggling a bit. No, this is like adopting a high-tech orphan. All of its complex software, all of its unique parts, are now just frozen in time, with absolutely no path forward for fixes, for improvements, or even basic repairs. And here's the kicker. Even before the company totally collapsed, the car was already under multiple federal safety investigations for some truly terrifying failures. We're talking cars suddenly losing all power on the highway, phantom braking for no reason, rolling away when they're supposed to be in park, and doors that just refuse to open. It's not good.
But, let's be fair for a minute. The Ocean wasn't all bad. In fact, when you look at it on paper, this was a vehicle with some real ambition and a few seriously cool ideas.
So let's actually take a look at the features that convinced over 40,000 people to put down a reservation in the first place, because the dream they were selling, it was pretty compelling. The car's signature trick was California mode, and I got to admit, it was genuinely awesome. You press one button, and every single piece of glass, the side windows, the little rear quarter windows, the huge sunroof, and the rear liftgate glass, they all open up at once. It created this amazing, open-air, near-convertible feeling in an SUV, and it was totally unique. And it didn't stop there. It had this giant 17.1-inch screen that could physically rotate for watching movies, a clever little pull-out tray for the passenger, and even a solar panel roof on the top-end model. And the biggest selling point? It was built by Magna Steyr in Austria. That's the same high-quality factory that builds the Mercedes G-Wagon, the Jaguar I-Pace, and the Toyota Supra. The bones of this thing were supposed to be solid. And oh yeah, it was fast. The top-spec Ocean Extreme was promising supercar-level performance, with a claimed 564 horsepower from its dual motors, and it was supposed to hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds. But here's the real tragedy of it all. Even if the company had somehow survived, the car they actually shipped to customers was deeply, deeply flawed. It really felt like a product that was rushed out the door years before it was actually ready. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Professional reviewers were not impressed. Consumer Reports bought one for testing, and they sum it up perfectly. It's an unfinished product. And the kicker? Those software updates they were waiting for? Yeah, they're officially never, ever coming. Owners were reporting just fundamental problems you wouldn't accept on a car that cost a third of the price. We're talking leaky window seals letting water in, horrible wind noise on the highway, and just look at this last one. A federal recall because the warning lights on the screen used the wrong font and the wrong color. I mean, how do you even make that mistake?
All right, now for the part that really hits the wallet. Because of all these problems, the Fisker Ocean is one of the fastest depreciating vehicles ever made. In fact, the only thing that's depreciated faster is probably Henrik Fisker's reputation as a serial automotive entrepreneur.
So, let's look at a real-world example. An early, top-of-the-line Ocean One limited edition, it had an original sticker price of $71,437. Today, less than 2 years later, you can find that exact same car, with just a few thousand miles on the clock, selling for under $20,000. That's a loss of over $51,000. To put that into perspective for you, the money that just vanished into thin air is enough to go out and buy a brand new, fully supported electric SUV from a company that, actually still exists. The depreciation here is just catastrophic.
Okay, so let's put this all together. I mean, when you can buy a used Ocean for the price of a brand new Honda Civic, is it at all tempting? Well, maybe for a split second. But let's just compare it to some sane alternatives you could get for similar money.
And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? When you put it up against established, excellent rivals like the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Tesla Model Y, the Ocean just completely falls apart. Look down the list. Warranty? Nope. Service network? Nope. Software updates? Not a chance. Parts? Good luck. A functioning company? Absolutely not. You're not buying a product here, you're buying an unsupported liability.
So, the final verdict from us? It is an absolute, unequivocal buy. Every single issue with this vehicle, and I mean every single one, traces back to that one unfixable terminal problem: the company is bankrupt. Owning one isn't a quirky choice anymore. It's a reckless gamble with both your money and your safety.
And what's the final irony in all of this? Well, the 3,200 unsold Oceans were liquidated to a company called American Lease for about $14,000 a pop. They are now all driving around as taxis in New York City. They are literally the only Oceans in the entire country with any kind of fleet support. So unless you have your own engineering team and a parts fabrication shop in your garage, skip this car. It's a hard buy.